You pull into the gas station. You're half awake, the light's green, there's a car behind you. You look at the pump, and there's a button that's a few cents cheaper than the rest. And it says a nice, friendly number on it. 88. You think, 88, that's a higher number than the 87 I usually get, and it's cheaper. Great. You press it, you fill your tank, you ride off. And you may have just started quietly destroying your engine, because that cheerful little 88 is not an octane rating. It's a marketing name. What's actually coming out of that hose is a fuel called E15, gasoline blended with 15% ethanol. And here's the part, nobody printed in big letters on that pump. The federal government's own environmental agency says E15 must not be used in motorcycles. Not isn't ideal for, must not. It's actually against federal law to put it in your bike. And in 2026, they made it available at pumps all across the country, all summer long, right next to the fuel you're supposed to use for a few cents less. They put the thing that can wreck your engine one careless thumb press away from the thing that won't. And they made the dangerous one cheaper. So today we're going to talk about what E15 actually does to a motorcycle, why bikes get hurt worse than cars, the sneaky little naming trick that gets riders to pump it by accident, and, most important, stick to the end. Exactly how to protect yourself and what to do if you think you've already put some in your tank. Because this one isn't a scandal happening to someone else far away. This is happening at the gas station you'll stop at this week. Let's start with what ethanol even is, because the industry has spent a lot of money making it sound wholesome. Ethanol is alcohol made mostly from corn, blended into gasoline. For years, the standard has been E10, 10% ethanol, and your bike can handle that, grudgingly. Almost every motorcycle on the road was built and warrantied for a maximum of 10%. E15 jumps that to 15. Doesn't sound like a huge leap, right? 10 to 15. But that extra alcohol is where the trouble lives. And for a motorcycle, it's the difference between fuel and slow poison. Here's the first thing it does, and it's genuinely sinister because it happens while your bike is just sitting there. Ethanol is hygroscopic. That's a fancy word for one simple, ugly fact. It attracts and absorbs water straight out of the air. The more ethanol in the fuel, the more water it pulls in. And once that fuel absorbs enough moisture, something called phase separation happens. The water and alcohol mix gives up, separates out from the gasoline, and sinks to the bottom of your tank, which is exactly where your fuel line pulls from. So picture your bike sitting in the garage for 2 or 3 weeks. Totally normal for a motorcycle, right? A car gets driven every day. Your bike doesn't. It sits. And while it sits, that E15 in the tank is quietly drinking moisture out of the air and separating into layers. Then you go to start it, and the first thing the engine gets fed is a slug of watery alcohol sludge sitting at the bottom of the tank. That's how you get the hard starting, the stumbling, the stalling, the why won't my bike run right, that riders spend a whole season chasing. And that's just the water problem. The second thing ethanol does is chew through your motorcycle from the inside. Alcohol is a solvent. It attacks rubber, it attacks certain plastics, it attacks some of the softer metals, the exact materials that older fuel systems are full of. Fuel lines go brittle and crack. Seals and gaskets swell up and fail. On any bike with a carburetor, and that's a huge chunk of the motorcycles out there, ethanol leaves behind a gummy, varnish-like residue that clogs the tiny passages a carb depends on. These are jets the width of a hair. It doesn't take much to plug them. Now, you might be thinking, wait, cars run E15, fine. What's the big deal? And that's the exact question the people who push this fuel want you to ask, because the honest answer exposes the whole thing. Motorcycles are not small cars. They get hurt worse for reasons that are almost cruelly specific. One, your bike sits. We covered this. A car burns through its tank in a few days before the water problem can really set in. Your motorcycle sits for weeks, sometimes for a whole winter, marinating. Two, many motorcycles are air-cooled and run hotter and leaner than a modern car engine. Ethanol burns leaner still. It changes your air-fuel mixture, leaning it out even more. And a lean, hot, air-cooled engine is exactly the recipe for overheating and detonation, the kind of thing that hurts pistons and valves. 3, the small stuff. A car has big, robust, modern fuel components. Your bike has tiny fuel lines, delicate carb jets, small rubber seals. The delicate parts ethanol eats first. And 4, a lot of bikes on the road are 10, 20, 30 years old, from an era when fuel systems were never designed to see this stuff at all. Put all that together, and you get a machine that is basically built to suffer from this fuel. And they parked it at the pump, cheaper than the good stuff. Now let's talk about that name, because this is the part that should really make your blood pressure climb. They don't sell it to you as the fuel that's illegal for your motorcycle. They sell it as Unleaded 88. Think about how that lands on a tired rider at a gas station. You know 87 is regular? So 88? That reads like it's one better. It reads like a mild upgrade for pocket change. It is designed, down to the number, to feel like a small treat, not a trap. The actual warning. The part where it says E15. The part where there's a little label saying don't use it in motorcycles. That's small, it's often faded, it's down in a corner, and it is nowhere near as loud as that friendly 88. And it gets worse if your station has what's called a blender pump. One nozzle that dispenses several different blends. Riders have raised the concern for years. Even when you carefully select the lower blend, the first bit that comes out of that shared hose can be whatever the last customer pumped. You did everything right and still got a splash of something your engine wasn't built for. So let's add up the absurdity. Because when you say it out loud, it's almost funny, except it's your engine. It is against federal law to put this fuel in a motorcycle. The government's own agency admits it can damage your engine. Using it voids the warranty you paid for. And that same system made this fuel more available than ever, all across the country, all summer, sitting right next to your fuel for a few cents less, wearing a friendly little number designed to get you to grab it by mistake. There's no cop at the pump stopping you. There's no big red warning. There's just you, a confusing label, and a bill you'll pay later out of your own pocket when your carb gums up or your fuel line splits on the highway. They created the trap, they made it cheap, and then they made it entirely your problem. The American Motorcyclist Association has actually been fighting this for years. They've got a whole campaign about the danger at the pump because they saw exactly where this was going. Riders don't have a big lobby. There aren't that many of us compared to car drivers. So when a fuel policy gets written, our engines are an afterthought, and the little warning label is the entire extent of anybody protecting us. That's the injustice here. Not that ethanol exists, but that the burden of not getting poisoned got quietly shoved onto the one guy least equipped to notice at 6 in the morning with a car honking behind him. And here's the question that turns annoyance into real anger. Why does this fuel keep getting pushed at all if the government's own agency admits it can wreck engines? Follow the money, and it gets clear fast. Ethanol means corn, and corn is one of the most powerful farming interests in the country. There are federal rules that require billions of gallons of ethanol to get blended into the nation's fuel supply every single year, whether the demand is there or not. E10 wasn't enough room to hit those numbers anymore, so the pressure has been on for years to push more ethanol into every tank. And the way you do that is you get E15 approved everywhere and make it cheap enough that people choose it. This isn't really about you getting a better fuel. It's about a quota that has to be met, and your gas tank is where they've decided to meet it. Your engine is just collateral in somebody else's spreadsheet. Nobody sat down and decided to hurt riders. They decided to move corn, and they didn't think about riders at all, which, honestly, is worse. Okay, I promised you the useful part, and if you ride, this is the section that actually saves you money. So here it is. Rule 1, and it's the whole ball game. Read the pump every single time and never trust the big number. You are looking for two things, the blend and the label. If it says E15, or if it's wearing that Unleaded 88 inches name, that is not your fuel. Skip it. What you want is regular E10, or even better, ethanol-free gas if your area has it. Make it a habit, a boring little ritual, the same way you check your mirrors. 2 seconds of reading beats a season of engine trouble. Rule 2, hunt down the ethanol-free stations near you. There are websites and apps that map out exactly where you can buy pure gasoline, no ethanol at all. A lot of riders swear by it and won't put anything else in the tank. It often costs a little more per gallon. It is the cheapest insurance you will ever buy. Your carburetor is worth more than the few dollars a fill-up. Rule 3, if your bike is going to sit, over winter or even just a few weeks, do not leave it sitting on a tank of ethanol fuel drinking water the whole time. Use a quality fuel stabilizer, fill the tank up so there's less airspace for moisture, and if you're storing it long term, a lot of experienced riders run the carb dry so there's nothing sitting in there to turn to varnish. 5 minutes of prep beats tearing a carburetor apart in spring. And rule 4, the one nobody tells you. What if you think you already pumped it? Don't panic, and do not just ride it hard hoping to burn it off. If you only put in a little and your tank was mostly the right fuel, the smartest move is to dilute it. fill the rest of the way and top off again soon with the correct fuel to drop that ethanol percentage back down. If you dumped in a full tank of E15 and the bike's now running rough, the safe answer is to drain that tank and start clean rather than let it sit and eat your fuel system. A drained tank is cheap. A rebuilt engine is not. None of this should be your job. You shouldn't have to stand at a gas pump doing chemistry at dawn to keep the fuel supply from wrecking a machine you already paid for. But until the labels get honest and somebody at the top decides riders are worth protecting, the only person guarding your engine is you. So read the pump, skip the friendly number, and tell every rider you know, because half of them have no idea this is even a thing. So here's my question for the comments, and I read them all. Have you ever pumped Unleaded 88 inches by accident? Or watched it wreck a buddy's bike? And does your local station even label it clearly? Or is it hidden like it is around here? Tell me below. And if this saved you from grabbing the wrong nozzle this weekend, send it to the rider in your life who fills up half asleep. You might just save his engine. Read the pump. Every time. Because at that gas station, nobody else is looking out for your motor. Only you.